Last week we thought about the problem of the absence of love, the fact that it might be deficient in our lives and service. Today we're going to explore the activity of love in the lovely description that Paul provides in these verses. And then next week, God willing, we'll talk about the abiding of love, its durability, and the abundance of love as seen in its distinctiveness. It's the one that remains. So with that in mind, let's read in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 to 7. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. When I was growing up in the 1970s, a popular single-frame cartoon appeared in newspapers and in various other formats under the strapline, "Love is ... Some of you will probably remember seeing it. I've no idea whether any of the inspiration for those cartoons came from these verses. I suspect not. But I venture to say that we have just read the most profound description of the kind of love that we were talking about in last week's video. In a very real sense, it tells us what love is. It was the Lord Jesus who said, "By their fruits ye shall know them," in Matthew chapter 7, verse 20. While that is true about people, the same could also be said about love. It's best seen and known by what it produces, and also, of course, by what it does not produce. The verses that we have read are a beautiful description of the actions of love. A love that is not simply drawn out by favourable circumstances, but a love that flows out even in unfavourable circumstances. In these 4 verses, Paul lists 15 lovely features, 7 things that love does, and 8 things that love does not do. All of these, of course, are seen in perfect display in the Lord Jesus Christ. So right at the beginning, our attention is drawn to patience and kindness. Love suffereth long and is kind, verse 4. The Greek word for kindness is a word that in Greek sounds almost the same as the title Christ, and that was such a beautiful feature of the Lord Jesus. From the positive, Paul moves to the 8 negatives, one after the other, but I think that he begins with those 2 positive virtues because he wants to underline that love gives itself rather than that it asserts itself. Love sacrifices its own interests for the benefit of others. There is no jealousy with love. Love envieth not, verse 4. There's no boasting with love. It's not inflated with its own importance. Love vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, verse 4 as well. It never acts in a way that is unbecoming or embarrassing or dishonouring to others, doth not behave itself unseemly, verse 5. Love never places its own interests first or insists on its own way. It seeketh not her own, verse 5. Love is not touchy or irritable, is not easily provoked, verse 5. And it keeps no record of wrongs or harbour any sense of injury or resentment. It thinketh no evil, verse 5. As I go over these things, I do so with a sense of inadequacy because I see these feelings rich, large, all over my life, and it ought not to be so. Love in our hearts produces joy in our lives. A joy not in what is evil, but in what is true. It rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, verse 6. While the world's media delights to promote and broadcast what is sinful and false, our thoughts, our business rather, ought to be spreading what is truth. But let me conclude with F.F. Bruce's paraphrase of verse 7. Love conceals the faults of others, always believes the best, never despairs, and remains steadfast to the end. Now that's a challenge to all of us.